The Economist Group at the recently held Future Hospitality Summit sheds light on the economic analysis on the hospitality industry in the Middle East.
The US and Europe are going to be growing very slowly, less than 1%. And I think there is still a risk that they could tip into recession. Asia will remain the fastest growing region, although the pace of growth will also slow there, with China notably slipping below 5%. And we expect Chinese growth actually will continue to slow over the next 5 years to under 4%. Even so, we forecast that developing countries and emerging markets will contribute the most to global growth over the next 5 years or so, helped in particular by stronger contributions from South Asia and Southeast Asia, and that includes India, which I understand is a key source of tourism for the region, particularly here in the UAE. But this year, we are seeing a very healthy surge with improvement in most regions. And I think almost all we're likely to see a full recovery to pre-pandemic levels by the end of this year or into 2024. Certainly there's been a much more upbeat outlook for this year. We have been including all the reopenings, including finally China. And we're seeing big promotional campaigns, pent-up demand, and the return of in-person corporate events. Visitor arrivals in the broader Middle East region were back above pre-pandemic levels in the first quarter. A number of reasons. We obviously had the Qatar World Cup, an easing of visa and social restrictions, and gains in established markets like here in the UAE. Air passenger traffic is expected to exceed pre-pandemic levels this year and actually be the fastest growing region in the world. In China, consumers there are worried about their savings, much of which is tied up in the property sector, which is undergoing a bit of a crisis. So we probably won't see that sort of resurgent surge in Chinese visitors that perhaps we were hoping for. On a more positive note, India should remain a growing source of visitors, particularly to the Gulf region. And the Gulf region itself will be a key source of tourist demand. The medium-term prospects for the tourism sector in the Gulf here are actually very healthy. We might have a soft patch certainly next year, but I also think it needs to be recognized that competition for visitors will only get more intense.